is to bring you your next favorite band.
Sweet, that intro is my new favorite band. That's phenomenal. I'm so excited to be on.
Yeah. I heard a rumor that you might be able to play that song live today.
You heard correctly. Yes.
So.
Good enough for rapping.
I don't know when I rock out here on your next favorite band show.
And listen, it's going to be everybody's favorite band.
Phil, you weren't supposed to make me get all... God almighty,
But this
Phil.
is why we do it.
Like, seriously. I gotta gather myself. All right, go ahead.
Okay.
Welcome to your next favorite band. That's both the show title and our promise to you. We here at Stereophilia Studio are tireless in our pursuit of finding incredible, genre-defiant artists who are either a hot, up-and-coming band or a group that has been delivering for years but have flown under the radar. Tonight, we'll be running the gamut from claustrophobic folk to anthemic indie pop to punk rock freakouts with Bird Streets. Each month, we will bring you live streams, audio podcasts, and perhaps even a live concert where you can listen to the stories and hear the music of artists personally curated by us based on what we feel will be worthy of your time. Be sure to subscribe and tune in to each episode because the possibilities are endless and you never know who will be your next favorite band. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. I am your host, Philip Reese, and you are listening to your next favorite band. Tonight, we've got Bird Streets for you. I think you're going to really love this one. One song in particular that has just been living rent-free in my ears for quite some time now. But an entire catalog there, and even larger catalog than I necessarily even realized. And we're going to get into all of that with John Brodeur. The singer-songwriter brilliance behind Bird Streets. And definitely looking forward to exploring the entire convo. Before we get into the dialogue, wanted to remind you about the Winter Wonder Jam. That's coming up shortly here, a couple of weeks. I'm going to share here the Godfrey Daniels page now rather than ours. So obviously you go to nextfaveband.com, you'd be able to find it. But we are hosting our 4th annual Winter Wonder Jam at Godfrey Daniels, 50 years running. It's just incredible of this listening room that's available to us in Bethlehem, one of the oldest listening rooms in the country. If we click here on upcoming events and we scroll down to December 6th, here it is. The Winter Wonder Jam. So once again, we're going to have music, we're going to have comedy, we're going to have shenanigans, and we're going to have basically Brett Cull and his he's brought together a number of musicians that he has worked with over the years, including Ray Weston of Echolin, as well as Katie Barbato and Ava Left. And then also we have Zoe Lemon, who we've had on the show before. Brett Cull's been on the show before. And then awesome comedy from Doogie Horner. So you can see here, if you come to godfreydaniels.org, you'll be able to learn all these different things, the bios. Here are some songs by each artist, some stand-up from Doogie. And then when you're ready to purchase your ticket, if you're able to make it, you click on here and you're going to come up with this page here where you can get your tickets. So hope you will join us. And like we've talked about in the past, if you can't quite make it, whether it's due to the scheduling or you're not close enough to the Bethlehem area, that week, earlier that week, we have our kind of live stream pre-jam. And within that, we're going to be able to play some pre-recorded music from various musicians who have been on the show throughout the calendar year. We always invite them back to send us a recording. Might be a message, might be a song, might be an original, might be something like just, again, famously seasonal. But it's a fun night. And we also like to shine a light on the homeless shelters that serve all of the communities. We have one here called New Bethany, so we kind of raise a kind of awareness on that. But every one of our communities will have just incredible people who do amazing things at this time, where people who are less fortunate need our help to feel the spirit of the season. So if that is something you're so inclined to do, make a donation, either monetarily with your time, go to the grocery store and purchase things, drop it off at the food bank, whatever. But this is that time to kind of feel like giving back is important, and especially with whether it's SNAP benefits or funding that's reduced, this is a time where both the nonprofit organizations as well as the people in need really need us to kind of step up and help out. But hopefully you can also join for the Wonder Jam and enjoy some of the tidings of great joy, and then we can also find ways to give back as well. So before we get further into the interview, let's also hear from our sponsor, BetterHelp. Hey, music lovers. Before we dive into today's episode, I want to tell you about our sponsor, BetterHelp. More and more mental health topics of depression, anxiety, addiction, and more are coming up in our interviews with artists and musicians who are brave enough to share them and the music that came out of the journey. Those songs may even help us feel a little bit less alone as we work through the same struggles, but at the end of the day, we need more than just a great song. We need therapy, and that's where BetterHelp can assist. BetterHelp connects you with a therapist who can help you find your path. Instead of being stuck in the endless loop of questioning yourself, you can talk through questions, concerns with someone who's trained to help you find real answers. As you know, our Listen to the Dissonance shows help to create a safe space for vulnerable conversations, but not everywhere can feel that way. Since BetterHelp is accessed via their app, you can explore your options and conduct your sessions in the comfort of your own home or wherever you feel is best for you. After you download the app, you'll get started by filling out a questionnaire and get matched with a therapist in as little as a couple of days. And if that's not feeling right, you can easily switch to a different therapist at any time at no extra cost. They carefully make sure the therapists on the platform are well qualified, and their customer support team is there to help you with any questions. With over 7,000 reviews and a 4.5 rating on Trustpilot, BetterHelp is a platform that you can trust. We at Your Next Favorite Band believe in breaking the stigma around mental health, and going to therapy is a sign of strength, not weakness. And with BetterHelp, it's easier than ever to take that first step towards feeling better. Click the link here or go to betterhelp.com/nextfaveband and you'll get 10% off your first month of therapy. That's betterhelp.com/nextfaveband. It's okay to ask for help. Contact BetterHelp today. So I heard the music of Bird Streets a little ways back earlier this year, and it's just one of those sounds that really kind of just immediately just grabs your ears and kind of fills a void that you didn't realize you had. So I think this is really it's kind of, again, I feel like sometimes there's music that I bring on here that is brand new the first time you might be hearing it, but feels like you've listened to it for years. That's where I kind of feel like this sits, at least for me it does. And I can't wait to talk to John further about his journey and his music catalog. So first off, let's take a listen to a track of his off of his brand new album, full album that came out. And this track is called "Everyone We Love Will Go Away" by Bird Streets.
Tape recorder, turn off the TV. I never really know if someone might be watching me. Disconnect the mainframe, shut the infrastructure down. Everybody's up to something, well, you can leave me out. It's not so bad being alone. You think of clever things to say in case you're ever with someone. The outside world is just a
Brooklyn artist John Brodeur adopted Bird Streets as his nom-de-guerre with the release of a self-titled 2018 LP produced by indie pop hero John Faulkner. Bird Streets was a refreshing blast of classic yet modern melodic rock that received accolades from Pop Matters and NPR Music, which named Bird Streets a slingshot artist along with then-emerging talents like Phoebe Bridgers and the Bats. A native of upstate New York, Brodeur began his recording career with 2000's Tiger Pop, and prior to Bird Streets released 2 solo albums, in addition to EPs with The Suggestions and Maggie Mayday. He has toured with Juliana Hatfield, They Might Be Giants, and Fountains of Wayne, and performed at festivals like South by Southwest, TMJ, and 30A. We'll bring this back up, and then we'll bring John on the show.
All my friends are insane, and all my friends are in my brain, and everyone we love will go away, and the day will come tomorrow.
I do love seeing the artists bebop to their own music.
I
Welcome to the show, John Brodeur, Bird Streets.
Thanks for having me. Happy to be here.
And I'm going to say right off the top, I am pronouncing it correctly. It's been de-Frenchified.
It has been generations in the United States has taken all the French out of it, but I like to hear it. I like to hear it when it gets put back in.
Yeah. So if you're listening on the podcast, spelled the way you might expect it to be said, Brodeur,
Right.
but it's Brodeur.
Like the goalie, if you're into hockey.
That's exactly right. That's what I thought.
John Brodeur, but yeah, and it's fine. That's the right way to do it, I think. In my mind.
But let's talk about this music. Also, Faulkner, right? Like this, he produced the first album and then this one.
Yeah, Jason and I made the first one together years ago now.
Right.
That was like 2016. It came out a couple years later, and then this one we started during COVID, like during 2021. It was like one of the first, like the first thing I did outside of the city. The first time I got on an airplane was just to go to LA to start working on this. And I think we thought ambitiously at the time, like we did 5 songs that first couple of weeks. This was one of them. And I think we thought we were going to have it done in, a year. And then 4 years later, we were finally mixing it. So it was a long road to this one, but there were reasons for that besides being, us being on different coasts.
Sure.
Jason also took on a bunch of gigs. Jason's been playing with Beck for the last 10 years, but then he also has started playing with St. Vincent in the last like 3 or 4 years. So he's been he's been crazy busy.
Like the greatest artists of our time.
Yeah, and they're like 2 absolute icons. And,
Totally.
But they tour a lot. Yeah. So it was just like finding the time to get to finish it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so the album is called The Escape Artist.
Mm-hmm.
This is a killer track off of it. We're going to play a bunch more. And I don't mean to only focus on this more recent release. You have Lagoon before this, which is a brilliant piece. And then you have the one before that. But focusing here, since it's the more recent release, and then we'll zap back to those. This one does feel like you're like in the pocket, I guess might be the phrase. Like you feel at ease. Like the other ones felt a little bit more urgent. This one just feels like you're being a brilliant musician. I don't know if that's true, but like that's at least the sense I was getting.
That's very nice to hear. Yeah, I don't know. I felt like there was a confidence level on this record.
Yeah.
Like the first record, I did a lot of there was a lot more songs that I brought to Jason, like 3/4 finished. We did a lot more co-writing, where I was like, I'm not sure what to do here. And we just kind of treated it more that way. And Lagoon was born of more of a desperate time. So it's
we're definitely going to get into that.
That one that's a divorce record essentially. So like,
sure.
There's some real, but this one was just like, let's make some tunes. And like it is essentially like born of the, COVID isolation and all the stuff that goes with that. There's a lot of those things, but I came in with the songs more than anything this time and just felt like really good about what I was doing. And there's a couple co-writes, but for the most part, I was just like, this is what it is. I feel good about this. Let's go. Yeah.
No, that's great. I imagine as an artist, that must feel really good.
Yeah. And then Jason was just a magic, person to work with as a producer and an instrumentalist. We got a good thing going.
Yeah. Obviously, if you're going to go back to the same producer more than once. Obviously,
Yeah.
there's a flow and an ease there.
I mean, I want to work with different people, and I try to, but at the same time, you find somebody you work well with, you know, what I mean? Just like it's worth doing again because, like, yeah, I mean, and then we made this record that sounds to me nothing like the first record. It's got some similarities, the tones, because he's got his sort of like stable of sounds that he goes
Yep.
to, but like, I think the vibe of the record's so different, the songs are so different. It's a very different thing.
Yeah, but again, this is the type of stuff that I also feel like this show is about. Like, this is where I think I could recommend this one to. You hear it off the top. I talk about being genre defiant. I don't think it matters what any genre someone typically listens to. They should listen to this album and say, that's good music, and I'm going to put it on. Now, whether it becomes something that's, will they go to the show? Will they purchase it? I don't know. But this is definitely someone's next favorite band for sure.
Oh, right on.
Yeah. So we do always like to kind of go back. So let's go way back into like the journey where this all started.
Sure.
And there's a couple of things that happens very early for you, like being introduced to music, which is similar to me. Like I remember, like it sounds like you went to your first concert at 4. Is that correct?
Yeah, my parents took me to see the Charlie Daniels Band at the Saratoga Performing Arts Center. It was like primo, like it was when Devil Went Down to Georgia was a number one.
Yeah.
And
I think I want to say 5 or 6, and my parents took me to the Monkees. Like they got reunited.
That's a good on the '80s Monkees. Yeah.
Yes. And it would have been Westbury Music Fair on Long Island.
Oh, right on. That's great. Yeah. Yeah. No, it was a weird first one, but I lived in upstate New York, and that's just kind of that's the thing there.
Yeah.
It's kind of country up there.
Yeah. Well, I went to college at Geneseo, so that upstate New York, like near Rochester area.
Upstate New York. Yeah. It's central New York, technically, if you want to be specific. But
totally.
Yeah.
I think we need to.
It's all upstate to New Yorkers, though. Like
it's so true.
Down here, everybody thinks like, that's upstate. It's
right. Anything north of Westchester County is upstate.
Yeah.
It's Newburgh. Yep, upstate.
Yeah, that counts. Sure.
Oh, that's funny. But yeah. So, and then I think the other thing that happened was you got sick as a young child.
Yeah. I had leukemia when I was
oh my gosh.
diagnosed when I was just before my second birthday. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations.
I'm still here, man.
Yeah.
In a while. Don't take it for granted, though.
No, certainly. I mean, I think there's got to be some contributions there, even if it does happen at such a young age.
Yeah. I don't think you realize at the age how much it shapes who you are, but like, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Wow.
More as I get older. Yeah.
So did that come? So I remember hearing you talk about on other interviews being able to basically just spend a lot of time with your parents, like vinyl records or whatever. Was that because you couldn't go outside, or was it? Like...
I mean, it's not that I couldn't go outside, but like, we grew up in the burbs, and I was sick. I wasn't. I don't know. And also, maybe I just like records. I think that's the actual answer. Is like I just wanted to listen to the Beatles, man. But yeah, I mean, I those were my best friends back in the day.
Yeah,
John Lennon.
I mean, you listen to your music, and without knowing that, I did find it in the interview that you had done prior for research, but like, I didn't need that to let me know that the Beatles were a formative band for your sound, because it's so. You probably heard it in that first one. In some ways, we're really going to hear it in some of the other tracks we take a listen to. But the Beatles are just that sensibility of melody.
Yeah,
is so present in your music that you just knew that the Beatles were like an inspiration for you at some point.
Yeah, as they should be for anyone who writes songs.
Right.
I mean, like my generation and next one up and behind us. I think if you're not in some way influenced by the Beatles, I don't know what you're doing. Like, and they're still transcending time.
Yeah.
There's still young people getting into that music, and that's great.
No, it's so true. It is so true.
I mean, they're not the only band, but they're pretty important.
Last I checked.
Yeah.
It's funny to think. I wonder what that documentary, the Peter Jackson documentary, being on Disney Plus, might actually open up either younger or newer people to their music that never otherwise would have heard their music, purely because it was on a Disney streaming service. Like I wonder if there was any way to like just kind of understand all these potential people who never would have even cared about who the Beatles were.
Yeah, I wonder if that was somewhat strategic.
Yeah.
Like put it there because the kids will see it. We want to keep that
Right.
that gravy train rolling.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Multiple gravy trains
Mm.
converging. And then, so what I understand though is like your first musical love was the drums.
Yeah, I was kind of a drummer first. That's what I wanted to play when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
When it came like second grade or third grade, and whenever it was that they were like starting music lessons in school, my parents were like, "What do you want to play?" And I was like, "Drums," and they were like, "How about a flute?" I was like,
I'm sorry, did you say flute? Here's a flute.
yeah. I don't know if they thought that I would have to like carry the whole kit or something, because actually drumming is that drummers. That's the easy gig.
Yeah.
You just have to bring the sticks to school.
Just bring sticks. Yeah.
But I don't know. I think in a way, I'm glad I started on something melodic. I switched to saxophone when I was in like 5th grade. That became my thing for a long time, tenor sax. But yeah, I think it might open my ears to melody a little more. Like, not that I wouldn't have found it. I was obviously a Beatles person and stuff, but and I was into pop radio and those things. But
sure, as every kid is, yeah.
But yeah,
but it is interesting to think rhythm, melody. You were kind of at the you kind of had your feet in both of those lanes.
Yeah, I think I've always kind of done both. I was just playing a drum gig the other night, as I told you before.
Yeah. That was so cool.
Yeah. I like all the things. I like all. I guess I always just kind of wanted to.
All the things.
I always just kind of wanted to play all the things. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just fully bathed in music.
Yeah.
But tell us where. So obviously the guitar falls into your hands at some point. Tell us that story.
I knew I wanted to try to play guitar, and then my parents bought me a. They used to have like the J.C. Penney catalogs back in the day. Does anybody know what J.C. Penney is anymore? I don't think that exists, but and in the back of the Christmas catalog, they would send out these like 300-page like books every Christmas.
Yep.
For holiday.
Was it called maybe it was Sears? It was one of them called the Wish Book.
That sounds familiar. Yeah. I don't.
And it was just basically all the toys.
Just every product that they carry, right?
Yeah.
And I remember in the back of that there was a what was the brand on it? Sinsonics or something like that. It was like $100 like Strat style guitar,
sure,
with like a 3-inch speaker mounted in it. And the guitar was a piece of crap. The speaker sounded gnarly though. That speaker was dope. It was like such good, like it was like garage rock. Just I wish I wish I still had that. You can find them sometimes.
Oh, totally.
That was the first instrument I had, and I like the first string instrument, the first guitar. And this was 1980, Christmas 86. I want to say I was like I think I was like 11. Maybe it might have been the next year.
Mm-hmm.
Might have been the next year, because 87 would track, because the record that I had at hand was the first Poison record. So the first song I learned on guitar was "Talk Dirty to Me," which is like just like old time rock and roll stuff. But it was a
right.
It just was like, that sounds like that. That sounds like that. Go, and I figured
right. Well, he does say, "Cece, pick up that guitar and talk to me."
Guitar and talk to me.
And you took it literally.
And he plays that really simple, like melodic. It's a great tune.
It is.
Yeah.
It is, and obviously inspirational.
Yeah.
Made you want to pick up the guitar and play that.
I guess so. Yeah, I was like, I can hear myself doing this, and I figured it out. And I kind of taught myself by ear.
That's so cool.
Or just from playing along the records. Yeah.
Was there a mentor at some point? Like, did you start taking lessons somewhere, or did somebody say, "Let me teach you how to play this thing"?
I wish I could say I had. I've never taken a single guitar lesson.
Wow.
In 30. Let's not talk about it. Almost 40.
No, I got you. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not a shredder, but like, yeah, I think part of how I learned well, because I bought a lot of the guitar magazines back in the day.
Sure.
And like hard rock and like Poison kind of bands were starting to hold sway. So like there was a lot of like really crazy playing that I just I learned how to do some of that stuff. I'm not good at it, but like that kind of taught me some agility and stuff. But then I don't know. I think I realized sometime in high school, like that my thing was I wanted to just write songs with it.
Yeah. Did you write anything back then, or were you just trying to copy what your ear was telling you liked?
I mean, I did. there's a couple like early things that I tried writing when I was young, and then in high school I tried writing a few things. I had a band where I played drums, and me and the guitar player Mark, we sat down and wrote a few songs together. And we were just aping the stuff that we were listening to. Like
Sure, sure.
this one song that sounded like AC/DC, and one song sounded like Nirvana. It was like an Alice in Chains thing. This is like 91, 92.
Right.
Yeah, so like it took a while for me to kind of like, took a couple years of just like writing a lot to find a voice, basically.
And then this is again similar to my personal experience where Nirvana hits the scene and it changes everything. Like it just absolutely is such transformative sound that you're like, holy smokes.
Yeah, the simplicity of it, the economy of a trio.
Yeah.
It always appealed to me. I don't do a lot of that these days. My songs are a little more complex, but I really enjoy stripping it down to that when I can. Yeah, and just melody over rock music is just like, it's such a simple formula that if the songs are good, it's really effective.
Yeah.
And yeah, that kind of sparked me to like, it was like not right after high school, but when I got after my first year of high school of college, I came back home and I started a band and I haven't looked back.
Yeah, yeah. And so I rattled off a couple names earlier. Like what's this first band that forms that has some legitimacy to it?
Well, legitimate. The name of the band?
Yeah. I guess just the story of how it formed and the name and stuff.
Well, my first band was called my first real band, I like to call it, the first band I fronted, was called Norman, and it was like 94. Yeah. I had this friend from high school, and we were chatting on the phone, that summer, and I had written a few songs at that point. I was just kind of getting my legs, and she was like, "Hey, there's this, I know this band that they're looking for a singer, and do you know anybody?" And I was like, "I'll do it."
Yeah.
I was game. I was like,
I do know someone.
Let's go and see. And it just went from there. I went over to these guys' garage, was in a garage, and just jammed with them for a couple hours, and I brought them a couple tunes. We played those, and it just kind of went from there.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
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 And then where does it progress from there?
We played that band, like, did some cool things. We actually had like we made a demo tape. We played some gigs at like the coffee houses because we're all 18, 19 years old.
Sure, right.
And I think we started playing a couple clubs, and we did a demo tape, like a live to 2-track demo tape that December that like got some play on like the local radio station, like local shows and stuff like that.
That feels so cool at that age.
Yeah, like I'm like my first band, and I got to hear my music, played on the station that I loved on WEQX in Manchester, Vermont. Still one of the best stations in the country. Love that station, and and we got like reviewed in a couple of the local news weeklies, and it was like cool, man. And
that's probably just so inspirational to keep you wanting to go do it. So like,
a lot of cool
wow,
things.
if we got this far.
Yeah, right off the bat to have those things happen was like, okay, maybe this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And we played like there was a thing called the Ticketmaster Music Showcase, which was like a national battle of the bands, and we got like we played the locals and got selected and went and played the semis in Tampa. We didn't make it to the finals, but like it was like we got flown to. It was like the first time I was ever on an airplane.
Wow,
was to go play a gig in Tampa in Ybor City. On a big stage and like a 1,000 cap, and there was a shit ton of people there. It was really cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah, and we made a couple tracks for we did a bunch of stuff that year. It was really good, and then we split up somewhat unceremoniously because I don't know, egos. But
always,
that's how it is. But then I just started some other bands after that. None of them quite got to that level of early success, but I don't know. I think I got the bug, and I was like, I'm gonna keep doing this.
Well, let's spend a moment on that, because I feel like this is not always something we can chat about. A lot of times the guest on the show is either just starting or this thriving band or whatever. We don't always get to talk about the sunsetting of recognizing that it's over. And that's hard. That's got to be painful, where it's like this art that I created, these people that I toured with, and like it's just got to be this difficult time of acknowledging that something just isn't quite working well enough to keep going.
Yeah. That ties into a lot of things in life, but
Sure, right.
we'll get to that, I suppose. But
Yes, for sure.
yeah, you know, I don't know. That band broke up more or less on a gig.
On a gig.
Yeah, like at the end of a gig. The next band I had after that, I got sick, or I think I had a tonsillectomy, and I was out of commission for like a month. And then all of a sudden, I found out that they had replaced me with somebody else, and we're starting a different band. So
I guess that's what I mean. Is like there's not always these stories for
It's
people
not
to hear
that.
about how difficult it is to be a musician.
Yeah.
I always want to make sure we paint the picture of like for all these successful ones we bring on, there's thousands of ones that didn't quite make it.
Right. You know, and like most of those guys that I played with back then, almost to a man, aren't doing music anymore, and that's the only you know, which it shouldn't be that unexpected 30 years on, like, but
Sure.
Yeah, you know, it's hard to make that call sometimes. I've gotten into my way of not having to do that was forming a band that was just me. That's what Bird Streets is, like me and whoever.
Yeah,
So I never have to
I've noticed this where whether you're performing or in the studio, it's kind of it's John Brodeur and then others.
Yeah, keep it nebulous, because I was a solo artist for a long time, but I did this because I was just like I wanted a band, and I knew it was never going to be the same band forever, and I've gotten really used to the kind of like revolving door thing about it, which, you know, having the center of it being my songs and my sound and stuff, and people just kind of bringing in their own elements to it. I got, you know, that's been a cool like sort of counterpart to that era of like we're starting a band and we're developing a thing, and you know, this is what we sound like. It doesn't have to. I like that it's a little different every time.
Sure.
No.
Right. Oh, I get that.
And I never have to be too sentimental about who's showing up. You know, it's like, okay, I'll see you on one of the next gigs. You know.
Yeah, maybe.
There's no firing. There's no breaking up. It's just
Right.
like, okay, it's these people today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think you mentioned this in a different interview where you might play East Coast with one set of people and West Coast with a different set of people. And the other thing that brings you is like the freshness of it's going to sound slightly different because these other musicians will have a slightly different take on it.
Yeah, I mean, and Bird Streets was like kind of born of collaboration, and that's what I, you know, anytime I play a show, it's like, well, this is what it sounds like today. It's these people and their flavors, and they play the parts, but like they each bring a different thing to it, and you know, the different voices that come into it. So yeah, that keeps it really interesting for me.
I'm sure.
I'm going to get bored. I don't get bored playing my songs. I play them all the time. I do solo gigs all the time, but like, I mean, most of the stuff the rest of this year is going to be solo, and that, you know, ends up being kind of the same thing every time. Not exactly, but
no, I hear you.
You know, with the band, it's always a little different, and I love that.
Yeah, they're very cool.
Yeah.
So chronologically now, you do release a bunch of solo, like you release tracks under John Brodeur.
Sure.
Where does the Bird Streets inspiration come from, where it's like you needed this to become something you're bringing, you know, to John Faulkner and whatnot, where you're saying it's going to be a different iteration? Because in essence, based on what we just talked about, it kind of still is a solo John Brodeur thing, but now it has this different nom-de-guerre.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I don't know. My first record it came out in 2000, end of 2000, beginning of 2001, Tiger Pop. And that was like almost entirely solo. And that was a reaction to all my bands in the 90s breaking up kind of unceremoniously.
Sure.
Okay, I'll just do it myself.
Watch this.
But then I started a band and we recorded a record. So the record Get Through that we made a couple years later, we made an EP with that band, The Suggestions. And then we recorded a record, and the guy that financed it, like put the kibosh on it and like we had to sit on it for 5 years. So like, that just came out as a solo record like years later. But, you know, so I just like, there was these these things kind of came and went, but like there was sort of a diminishing returns. Every record that came after the EP did well. The Suggestions EP, like we did a bunch of touring and things, but after that it was just like a lot of waiting around and a lot of like disappointment, and also that the industry was changing in the 2000s. Things were starting to get weird with like, what does this all mean? And it's not gotten better.
No, I was going to say, we still don't know the answer to that question.
Nobody knows anything, but yeah. And I started another band in the meantime. Around 2007, I had this band Maggie Mayday, and we did a bunch that had a good run for a couple years, and then I went back and released Get Through, and I did another solo record. And then after the last solo record in like 2013, I think it came out, Little Hopes. It kind of, I don't want to say flopped, but I feel like it didn't reach people like I thought it would. And I was getting just tired of doing the same thing a lot. And I don't know, just like, let me start a band, you know. It was a couple years, but like around the end, it was the beginning of 2016. The January 2016, we did the first Bird Streets show. I was just like, I'm going to start a band. Still my songs, but it's it's guys playing them, and or girls, or whoever was in the band at the time.
Right.
You know, and not just me with a guitar, and not just a John Brodeur and thing.
Right.
I always say it's because I wanted something that I could wear the T-shirt of. I can't wear my own T-shirt with my name on.
Well, it looks good on a T-shirt,
but I can wear the Bird Street shirt, right? Yeah. When it's laundry day, I'd have to have my face on it.
And someone would be like, "Hey, that looks cool."
And we played a bunch of gigs under that name, and then somewhere that year I started making the first record. Jason and I had recorded one song a few years prior, but then that year we started working on the album, and somewhere in there I was just like, well, maybe this is all Bird Streets. Maybe that's what it is, because I was bringing the new songs to the band, and it was like, well, it's not different things. It's not exactly a John Brodeur record, especially because Jason was involved in it. So it just made sense to put all my proverbial eggs in one proverbial basket, so to speak, with the name
Bird Egg, of course. Yeah. So then this first Bird Streets album comes out 2018, and it does, again, now I'm looking at it more in retrospect because I wasn't paying attention at that time. It does feel like the reception is different of that versus the other stuff you had put out.
Yeah. It was definitely like, people heard it. Part of that was having it put out on Omnivore, which is a pretty respectable label that reaches the kind of people that would listen to that music. But having Jason attached to it was a big deal. It just got a better push than anything else. But I think it also, part of that is just, it sounds amazing.
Yeah,
it's a good sounding record, with good songs. You can hear both me and Jason, like really strong on that record. I don't know, it connected with people in a way that nothing else of mine had really, in that before that. And it was like, okay, this is the way I'm gonna stay. I'm gonna keep doing this. Yeah.
And then what it morphs into is Lagoon comes out in 2022, and you mentioned it before, it's a divorce record,
essentially.
Yeah, it's more than that. Obviously it has the brilliance of your songwriting, but the messaging that you're talking about there is kind of like therapy through music writing, where I guess you were kind of feeling the things you do go through as a divorce. I'm divorced, so like I know what that felt like. And so that must have been just the way you were managing, coping, working through the various different feelings. And,
kind of processing things through song, because for what it's worth, I mean, she and we're friends, but like she and I didn't talk a lot in the immediate aftermath, and I just had to put everything into lyrics. I was just like, this is what I would say if I could have a conversation,
Right.
So some of those songs are very intense, very personal,
very vulnerable, very very kind of like laid bare.
And some of them took, some of those songs took a long time to get right, to really finish writing. That was the record where I really felt, I don't want to say came into my own, so to speak, because I've been making records for 20 years at that point, but like
it probably had a level of maturity to it that you grew through.
and I felt like I really had learned how to refine a song, like
Sure.
how to really get to the where I wanted to be on it. I do that a lot with Jason, where when we record together, I do a lot of things where we'll record a song and I'll go back to it. It happened a lot with the new record too, a few times anyway, where I would go back to something a year later and be like, I've got a different idea for the vocal or something. But that record, it was just the writing, maybe because of the subject matter, but like there was entire songs where it took 3 or 4 years to like get to the like, okay, now I got it, you know?
Yeah. Right.
Like Unkind was one of those. I had like I think I had 2 verses. I had like half a bridge. I think I started with the bridge on that song. I had
That's
like half
amazing.
bridge.
I'm going to
But,
start
like,
with the
I
bridge.
had the second half of the bridge and like a couple verses, and I knew where it wanted to land at the outro. I knew like, but I had this framework, but I could never figure out what went in between. Because I was like, this feels finished, and I sent it to 2 different producers, Pat Sansone, who worked on that record on half the record,
Right.
and Zach and Oscar, who produced 3 of the songs on that record. And both of those times, both of them came back and said, I don't think it's ready. I don't think it's finished. And it took a while. And then just like during COVID, like so the back half of that record like was written and finished, or like at least a third of that record was written and finished during COVID.
In the solitude of what
In the
that was.
solitude, like walking around for with nobody on the streets, for hours. And I would just, because of the masks, it made it really easy to sing to yourself.
Oh,
I'd
interesting.
just be walking around singing, and there's nobody looking anyway.
Right. No.
And that's how I wrote a few of those
So
things.
actually, this is
That's
a
how I
great
got to the end of
sidebar.
that.
Let's
Yeah.
spend a moment on this. We're going to come right back to Lagoon in a second.
Yeah, sure.
I actually wrote down, it's a note right here. And having listened to a number of different interviews or read a number of different interviews that you've done, I wrote down, he goes on a lot of walks. You mentioned it a lot, not as necessarily a plot point of what you were trying to share. It was just more of this thing where you were just like, oh yeah, I was working on a song, and so I went on a walk, and then this thing happened. And it just, that phrase came up so many times that it must be such a laboratory for you that you're like, I'm just going to go for a walk.
It is. It's a way to like kind of clear your head, but also recloud it with ideas sometimes.
Oh, I love that.
Because I used to, when I was writing songs when I was in my 20s, like living upstate, it would be driving.
Mhm.
I would drive around, and like at stoplights, I would have a tape recorder or a notebook or something in the car, and just be like, that's where ideas came from.
Yeah.
It's a little different these days, but like, because I'm not, I do drive, but not like that.
Right.
And you got to kind of pay attention in the city.
You definitely do.
It's not like just driving through.
Probably because of bike people, like the bikes in New York City are
There's
crazy
a lot.
people.
It's
Yeah.
a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
There's always something,
But yeah, I wanted to bring that up at some point, and that was just the perfect time in that.
Yeah,
You often talked about, it wasn't the early inspiration, it was the finishing inspiration of, I need to figure this out. It's not quite done. Let me go for a walk.
Yeah,
It came up a
yeah.
lot in your interviews. I was just like, man, I want to bring that up because
That
what's
is
it
where-
about the walk that makes it all click? What happens?
Yeah, it's hard to say, but it's something about. It's a bit of the solitude of it, like
Sure.
especially in that time. But I don't know that I did so much of writing on walks before that. I don't think I did so much, but definitely I did a little bit, because I mean, I did 2 of these 3 records I did in LA, and there's not a lot of people walking in LA, so it's a similar thing. You're out there just kind of by yourself. And the same thing, like on the newest record, I stay in Pasadena when I'm in a family in Pasadena, and in East Pasadena, there's just nothing going on. I mean, most of that town is from once you get outside Old Town, there's not much, but it's just almost suburban out there, and I would just kind of go for these long walks and look at the houses and imagine things, and that's where a bunch of the stuff on the Escape Artist came from, was those walks.
And is that inspiration of lyric or melody?
It's a little of both. It really
Oh,
depends where I'm starting from. I'm trying to think. Most of those, like, we'll talk about it later, but It's a Start was entirely just like a song that I wrote. I probably had taken an edible and went for a walk in the sun, in the afternoon. A lot of my walks are at night, but that was an afternoon walk, and the sun was out, and I was just like, yeah, man, I don't know, something clicked there, and I
love it.
the whole verse kind of came to me. But yeah, it's different every time.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no formula exactly.
Well, let's sneak back to Lagoon. And I know you had mentioned you could play 2 songs tonight, and we talked about them being off the new record. Would you mind possibly playing something off Lagoon?
Happy to.
Awesome.
Yeah,
This is just a perfect time to do it. You can pick anything you want off that album.
Why not? Yeah, maybe I'll do. Well, since we're talking about walks and we're talking about this is a song that entirely came from a walk.
Love it.
Just wandering around, and I had a melody from another song stuck in my head, and not going to give that away because it's not the same. I did enough to change it up, but it just sometimes a little piece of a song gets stuck in your head and you start singing other words to it, and then it just evolves in this other thing, and that's where Sleeper Agent came from, which is the first song on that record.
Cool. Well, I'm going to come off screen and you can
all right,
let it rip.
Well, I gotta tell you,
that's not it.
I gotta tell you, I'm kind of a mess. Live through the day just to get to the next. Can't return calls, never mind send a text. The monster inside it don't get any rest. Stare into the hole that surrounds all of this. If it has a purpose, I don't know what it is. The next thing you know, you're afraid to exist. Is there another word for total paralysis? As soon as possible, I'm breaking out of here. I'm gonna dig my soul to freedom or die trying. 'Cause there's no hospital can cure me of the fear that my first move could be my last. It's lying in wait for the signal to sound. A sleeper agent with orders to cut me down. Every positive feeling underscored by a frown. At war with my mind and I keep losing ground. A Congress of cowards ruling over my head. Oh, and the monster inside is just a scared little kid. Hiding under the steps, trying not to get hit. It's getting so hard to forgive and forget when he knows what he did. As soon as possible, I'm breaking out of here. I'm gonna dig my soul to freedom or not trying. There's no hospital can cure me of the fear that my first move could be my last. My first move could be my last. Oh, oh, oh. Something I needed to get off my chest. And now that I've told you, wish I'd never confessed.
Hey, thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you for the last minute change up there. But I just thought we needed to honor Lagoon in some way, since it is such a piece that people really connect with. Again, people who have gone through those things. There's another element to it that we didn't touch on yet.
Sure.
You were also in that moment going sober, like figuring out that you needed to get clean?
I had been for a while, but like I was still processing some of the things. It's actually I'd been sober for a while.
I gotcha. Sorry about that.
But I like some of it was just like,
I guess the storytelling of it is there.
Looking back, yeah, and kind of looking back and being like, is anything really different? Yeah, it was more that like Disappearing Act is kind of that like, yeah, okay, I sorted it out. Now there's more to sort out, you know?
Sure. Yeah, no. And again, I think that's stuff that I don't know if you heard, but like there's the BetterHelp ad.
Yeah.
Because there's so many moments like this of vulnerability where a musician is been able to go on a journey that they then put into song that then it allows somebody else who's struggling and maybe feels alone, but hears the song and realizes, wait, I'm not alone.
Yeah.
And we just think that's powerful stuff.
It's a big deal. Yeah. It's a big deal when somebody comes up like after a show and says like, hey, that song really like got me through it at a time or something, or helped me realize I had to do something. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That means a lot.
Totally. Yeah. And so that's kind of where we talked about off the top, where it was just like the difference between the first album being where this was kind of coming together foundationally, the second album having this urgency around working through some things, to now this current release that is maybe allowing you to have the room to breathe and be purely just at the peak of your musical powers.
I like the sound of that. Yeah, this record didn't really start with an agenda, which was good. I mean, this was just like, hey, let's do some tunes, and then I just happened to have just finished writing Mistaker at that time, and it was like, okay, we can work with this, and trying to think of what else was in that first batch. Everyone We Love Will Go Away, which was, you know, a song. Some of the things on this record, which Jason got a little tired of me at one point, telling him that like, oh, this song is from the 90s. But some of these songs like were rooted in things that I started when I was young. Sure. That song, the last song, Sweet Amnesia. There's one or two other things on this record that were like seeded. Run for Our Lives is another one. The verse of Run for Our Lives was something I wrote when I was 21. You know, and sometimes they didn't know where they were going to go, you know?
Yeah.
And then years later you go back and like, this is a good idea. Let me just see. And then would just
pull
kind of
this
like,
string and see where
right.
it goes.
And then it's like, oh, now it's the time. Now I know what to do with it.
Timing is everything.
Yeah.
Can we bring in, so it's actually a song that you didn't mention, but it's this one that just keeps ringing in my ears. I can't stop.
Sure.
Either I listen to it or I'm just singing it or humming it or whatever. It's a start.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Something about this one just sticks with me from the very first time I heard it. In fact, it was the one where, as I was listening to the album, I was like, all right, I got to have John on the show because this is my next favorite band is what it became. So let me just play it a little bit. Let's let it out there and then I'll lower it and we can talk over it. Sure. And I just kind of want to just know more about it. It's just such a great song. So here is It's a Start by Bird Streets.
I've been staring at the sky. Now the sun is always out when I close my eyes. Memorize in case it all goes dark. Just an image of, but it's a start. Caught myself inside a cloud, smashing up against the walls, trying to get out. And the sound, it caught me off my guard. An atomic bomb inside a shooting star. Everybody
feels like a cool glass of water on a very warm day. I don't know what it is. Like, there's something about the melody, the vocals.
It's got that kind of it's got a real like kind of relaxed 70s, that era, that kind of singer-songwriter era of the 70s kind of vibe to it. Like, it's also, I mean, this song for me was also like, I'm not gonna say like a rip, but like I was definitely doing like an Elliott Smith thing. He was one of my guys, so
sure.
And
you know who it reminds me of is Death Cab for Cutie.
That's awesome. Yeah, I hear that comparison sometimes with my music, and I don't always get it, but there's some things when I'm like, yeah, okay, sure.
Yeah, and again, I think you're very diverse in your music, song to song. That I wouldn't say that's a sound you have everywhere.
Right.
When I was listening to this one, I'm like, man, that is like honestly, Death Cab mixed with the Beatles was like kind of what I got out of it.
Cool.
It was like,
yeah.
But there's just something about it, like again, like even how it just comes back to this part, like it just keeps kind of like almost bard-like coming back to this part of the story.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, because there's only really a verse and a bridge in this song. I mean, when it comes into it, like, and it's just, I wrote a lot of words. This is one of the ones where I actually like, I didn't rewrite the lyrics exactly, but I came back and I did actually a lot of it though. Came back to it like a year after we cut the vocal. Like, when we went in to mix it, I was like, Jason, can I just take another crack at this? I've got something better. Like sometimes it's, you keep writing and it's not done till it's done, right?
Right.
Yeah, I also loved the video for this.
Yeah, it's a lot of animal like imagery and stuff.
She's a visual artist here in upstate New York, and she did this whole thing.
So cool.
Yeah,
so cool.
The video was actually a fun story about that video was it actually made for a different song for one of the songs on Lagoon, and I was like, I don't think this is right, and we just had it. It was sitting there, and then this song. I needed a video for this song, and I was like, wait, hang on. And I kind of just like played the song over the old video, and I was like, this is going to work.
Yeah. And you had to insert you like, lip syncing to some of the parts, and
just
boom,
did a new lip sync for it. And it was easy. Yeah. It's all computers anyway. So
it's all computers. Yeah. But yeah, no, just absolutely love that song.
Yeah.
It's constantly in my ears.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. But did you want to play another one? Do you want to play something off?
I thought maybe do one off the new record.
Yeah, let's do that.
I do Mistaker, but I think I might do there's a song called Pride is a Gun, which is on side A of the LP, which people have been, it seems to be one of the ones that people like, it's going to be a sort of sleeper on this record. People are digging on it a lot. Not to do two minor key sad ass songs, but I'm Sitting Down. Mistaker is kind of a standing up song.
Got it. Anyway. All right. Well, I'll come off screen again. Anything you want to do to intro it or whatever you want to do.
This one was, what do I say about this song? This is a song, another one, Born of Walks. It's a start. We're like fully written in Los Angeles, which is great, in Pasadena, just walking around and just like hearing a thing and then going home and figuring out what goes with the thing. And this one was specifically written because we had a session coming up and I was like, I need a song. And I just finished this thing. So anyway, this is called Pride is a Gun.
I think I made a mistake, and there is no hope. I'm at the end of my wits, and I'm all out of rope. Well, I've been hanging around like I would someday get clear. Now I see my best days are in my rearview mirror. And I feel like I'm on the rotisserie. And I wish in my heart I could press Control-Z. Take it back to the start and forget all the things that I didn't know I wouldn't need. It wasn't always this way. It used to be a good hang. Out all night and get home when the alarm bell rang. Do you remember that song? Hope I die before I get old. That was the funniest joke anyone ever told. I've survived all these years without a plan B. But my pride is a gun and it's turning on me. I can try to portray some humility, but it's too late to set myself free. Maybe in a few years I'll look back on this and laugh, but there's a poison pen right in my epitaph. You see, my psyche is scarred. It's deeper than a bruise. Forever caught between devils, I'm forced to choose. And they made me an offer I can't refuse. But is it motivation or an excuse? Everyone in the crowd is staring at me, waiting for me to break under the third degree. While I've learned all my lines, there's no guarantee that I'll finish my biography. Yeah. I've been fighting the time, but the odds are extreme. And I wish in my heart I could press Control-Z. Take it back to the start and forget all the things that I didn't know I wouldn't need.
Yes, I do love that one too. That's such a great one.
Yeah, that's that one I was once the album came out, I started hearing a lot about it from people, and I was like, oh, maybe that should have been a single.
It has got to be so funny to think that,
He knows.
yeah, like that's a track on an album just comes out of nowhere as being everyone's favorite.
Yeah, that's cool though. It's a cool thing that happens. You know?
Absolutely.
And everybody has a different favorite too, which is cool.
That is cool. That is very, very cool. One minor bit of trivia. I mentioned this before the show. I always like to find something that's a little bit off the beaten path radar.
Sure.
I did learn that you have a Buzzcocks tattoo on your arm.
Yeah, that's part of the lyrics to Everybody's Happy Nowadays.
Yeah.
Life's an illusion, love is a dream.
Yep.
Yeah.
But kind of fun. Just no longer as well known as they were. But
no, they're somehow, besides having a song or two that people still listen to, they sort of never broken through to the top tier of the first names on people's lips when they think about that era, and it's like they are maybe the best ones.
Totally, they're fantastic.
Such a great band, and yeah, there's some Buzzcocks influence on a few of the songs on this record, which is something I don't think I had explored before, but there's a little bit of that on, definitely at the end of Sweet Amnesia. There's some of that.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, a couple other things.
And then you had a quote in one of the interviews that it was not necessarily something that you were trying to say that was profound, but it was. And I just kind of want to get your take on it. You were being asked, like, how do you know when the song, like, how do you work through a song? How do you know when it's done? Or how do you know like that you've got something? And you kind of just said, well, I just work on it until it makes me feel something. And I was like, what a great quote. Like, I was just like, that's the perfect answer. But I just kind of want to get your take on that. On just what that actually means.
Well, for me, it's like, sometimes you just sometimes you just fill in space with the words just to fill notes, to put the melody together. And, or vice versa. Sometimes we work reworking the melody until it's like, okay, this is now I get it. But I don't know. You can hear it in the way that I write. I'm like, and I talked about how I tend to go back and refine lyrics a lot, refine little bits of things, because it's like, I I just want to make it a little better, a little better, a little better. And yeah, that's that. When it comes down to it, that's what it is. Like I listened, like that song, "Pride is a Gun." When I got there, I was like, oh, there it is. You know, yeah, sure.
No, I just think that there's always been something about art, whether it's music, dance, like art on the wall. It's supposed to make you feel something. To hear the artist be so genuine about that, being like, I'm not going to put it out there unless it made me feel something. I thought that was just a very cool, connecting of the dots there.
It is. It's I want other people to feel something, and if I don't, then I don't know that they will.
Yeah, no, that's exactly.
That's it. Yeah,
yeah. The simplicity of the quote was just so like a profound. Like, it was just awesome.
Yeah.
So I was like, I can't wait to bring that.
Yeah.
It's just a very neat thing. But yeah, no. So let's promote. I want to bring up your site and let's talk about what you've got coming up. Here is the birdstreetsmusic.com website. Very cool imagery going on here.
Yep.
We always talk about too, right off the top here. If you like what you're hearing, support the artist by buying, whether it's vinyl, T-shirts, or tickets. Like buy the stuff early and often from the artist directly where you can. But join the mailing list.
All the stuff.
Shows coming up.
Yeah, I'm doing some solo dates here and there for the next couple months, just a couple things, and we'll have some new stuff, hopefully some full band stuff in the new year. We're working on some stuff right now.
Got it.
Yeah.
Well, here's definitely some stuff here, and we do have listeners across the country.
Excellent.
So Iowa, New York, California, Idaho. You are ping-ponging all over the place.
I'm moving around a little bit. Yeah.
And that only goes through December, but obviously lots of great stuff coming up in the new year. So they should follow social media.
Please.
We will echo it on our side, but we will link to everything in the show notes as well.
Excellent.
But before we say goodbye, we are going to do, after the credits, the song Run for Our Lives. I figured I'd give you a chance here to kind of give that a little bit of a setup.
It's just a song that I had this verse sitting around, the first verse of it, just sitting for years, and I fleshed it out a couple different ways, and nothing ever made sense. I never had a chorus that worked for it, and then I brought it to Jason, and he had a thing. He was like, "What about this?" And I was like, "That's the one." And we and I wrote some lyrics for it, and then it was there. Yeah,
right. Excellent. And the video, to speak to that, it's a great video too.
Oh, it's a collaboration with this group, the Love Show. They're like a dance performance burlesque kind of thing here in New York, based in the city, and they had this really cool theater that they built in an old Mrs. Fields cookies the Port Authority, hand crafted, and we shot it in there, and it's this video was a lot of fun. So I love this one. Yeah, absolutely. So stick around after the credits for that. John, Bird Streets, thank you so much for coming on the show tonight. Thank you, Philip. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. So there you have John Brodeur, Bird Streets, and like I said, obviously we played a bunch from Bird Streets. There's 3 albums there. You're going to want to check those out. You're going to want to see him play live when he's there, whether it's solo or full band. But definitely dive back into the earlier catalog, the John Brodeur solo stuff, and any of the other bands that he was a part of. The sound is just there. It's so good, and you're going to want to check it out wherever you can.
All right, Phil, let's say goodbye to everybody.
We hope you've enjoyed this episode of Your Next Favorite Band. We'd like to sincerely thank John Brodeur of Bird Streets for joining us tonight, for not only sharing some incredible stories of his journey and inspirations, but also for playing 2 songs, not 1 but 2. One off Lagoon, one off the more current album Escape Artist. And just was wonderful there to also kind of talk through some of the other stuff, especially It's a Start, which has just been my favorite song for the recent couple of the weeks here. There'll be links in the show notes to everything there, whether it's the YouTube channel, the Spotify, the Bandcamp, the website, all that good stuff, so that you can definitely check that out. And like we just talked about, give them a follow on the socials. purchase stuff straight from them so that you can help support what they're trying to do and put out there, and then definitely go buy tickets to see them perform in a show. As always, our hope here is to bring you your next favorite band. If you tuned in tonight because you already knew Bird Streets or John Brodeur or both, we would like to thank you very much. But we would also like to say, if you like what you heard and what you saw, give us a like and a follow so that we can bring you your next favorite band in a coming week. Or your next favorite band might already be out there. Nextfaveband.com has all of our prior interviews. And so there's over 190 of them at this point, where your next favorite band could be already on the catalog. So just reach out to us in case you want some guidance or some curation. Let us know what you like, and we'll be able to guide you to 1, 2, 3 episodes, and then you'll be off and running. But just subscribe. You're going to love it in all of the coming weeks. We hope to see you at a live show soon. And stick around for one more track from Bird Streets. Here's the wonderful song and the terrific video for Run for Our Lives.
Sitting by my fireplace, grim reminder of a pretty face. Since you're gone, been running in place, can't seem to get ahead. You come on like a recurring dream, cut from the pages of a magazine, into a chunk of polystyrene, not too deep and not too wide. I'll never fit inside. Believe me, I've tried. Let's pretend, hold it together and act like friends every night. Do it all again till we run out of life, and we run for our lives. Sitting in an empty row, waiting for someone to begin the show. When you decide to get up and go, can't make any sense of it. Nothing as real as it may seem, caught in the middle of your two extremes. Keeping up with the drama queen, the understudy is long gone. Just turn the spotlight on, it's not any fun. Let's pretend, hold it together and act like friends every night. Do it all again until we run out of life, and we run. Let's hang on, the end is near and it won't be long, but until then we'll just play along until we run out of life, and we run for our lives. I'm staring at an empty screen. You're shouting from the mezzanine. We made a scene. Let's pretend, hold it together and act like friends every night. Do it all again until we run out of life, and we run. Let's hang on, the end is near.